Hi guys, welcome back to my channel once again here on YouTube. Today I decided to do another rankings video for you, this time for the WWE's 2006 DVD stroke pay-per-view library. So there were 16 pay-per-views, believe it or not guys, which is absolutely fucking mental. All those crammed into 12 months. I think there were months that had to share two pay-per-views. For example, like January had Royal Rumble and New Year's Revolution, and then December had Armageddon and ECW December to Dismember. I think October had No Mercy and Cyber Sunday, or it could have been November had Cyber Sunday and Survivor Series. And then I think there was another one in June or July that had two. And yeah, this absolutely mental. 16 pay-per-views. Around that time, it was probably unheard of. I'm sure they do something around that kind of figure now if you include the NXT premium live events, as they're called now. So nowadays, they probably do that many pay-per-views in a year, if not more. But back in 2006, like I said, it just felt like overkill. But anyway, here I am ranking all 16 DVDs, pay-per-views of WWE from the year 2006. Some of you will agree with this list, some of you won't. You probably have your own list. Quick shout out to David Mansell, who's a new subscriber I've recently been talking to. He has his own channel. If you want to go check it out, guys, he does his own rankings and talks about wrestling and movies and music CDs, etc. So hi to you, dude. Thank you for subscribing and taking time to view my content. So without further ado then, guys, remember this is my list. You might not agree with some of them, and some of them I've just decided to do this way. So yeah, beginning the list, kicking it off with 16th place, my least favourite at this time, and obviously my opinions can change over the course of time, is No Mercy from 2006. So this was a SmackDown Presents No Mercy. This one has, this one has an inlay, but it looks like it's in Italian or Spanish, so I do apologise for that. I never realised that. And then here's the back, but that's in English. So yeah, this was from October the 8th, 2006. The reason I decided to put this one last on the list, which probably shocked a few of you because you were expecting a certain Extreme Championship Wrestling one to be in last place, is because it just felt like an episode of SmackDown, pretty much. It just didn't have matches that stood out to me as pay-per-view quality. Maybe Mr. Kennedy and Undertaker could have been, but this all just felt like a episode of SmackDown, as I said. Rey Mysterio versus Chavo in a Falls Count Anywhere match was okay. MVP made his debut on SmackDown, which was pretty cool. The four-way match, I didn't really like that one from what I remember. So yeah, that was in 16th place. Sorry guys if some of you like that pay-per-view. Like I said, my thoughts and opinions can change over the course of, I don't know, X amount of months, maybe a year from now, in regards to all of these, how I've ranked them. In 15th place, I've got Cyber Sunday from 2006. So again, with this one, yeah, this is from November 5th, sorry guys. So here we go with the inlay for that as well. For this one, I didn't mind the concept of Cyber Sunday or Taboo Tuesday, having fans vote for the matches they wanted to see, and you know what I mean, because they're in control of the match type or the wrestler you wanted to see participate in the match, etc. This is all a good idea, but this one just didn't feel good to me. I don't know why. I don't think I like the idea of having the ECW champion versus the WWE champion versus the World Heavyweight champion. So all the three brands, main champions against each other, but with no reward at the end of it. It's just to see who the best world champion is out of the three of them, but they don't like have a winner takes all three championships. And I don't know. That's just me being fussy. And I didn't think much of the match anyway. It wasn't that great. Umaga and Kane, two monsters against each other. It was okay at best. Jeff Hardy against Carlito for the Intercontinental Championship. It was pretty cool. We had obviously that main event. We had the World Tag Team Championship match, Ric Flair and Roddy Piper against the Spirit Squad. It was good to see some legends back in the ring. Good to see Piper there. Women's match there, Diva Lumberjack for the Women's Championship, Mickie James versus Lita. And this is kind of a spoiler cover as well, because it's already given you who the fans have picked on the back. It should have just given you the choices, I think it did on previous Taboo Tuesday covers of DVDs. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but yeah, at this time, 15th place, Cyber Sunday. In at number 14, I have Unforgiven from 2006. This was from September 17th. The Edge versus Cena feud was cool. I didn't mind it. I mean, we started the year with it, and then we pretty much had a bit of a gap, and then we went back to it again. The TLC match they have for the WWE Championship is a good match. Don't get me wrong. The Kane and Umaga feud was okay. What was that Hell in a Cell match? Yeah, the 2-on-3 Hell in a Cell DX versus the McMahons and Big Show. I didn't really like that one very much, but that's just my opinion on it. I think having Big Show's ass on the show wasn't really something that I want to keep in my mind. You know what I mean? That's an image I don't really want to see again. Yeah, just little picks like that. But like most of these matches felt like an episode of Raw. And I know I'm going to keep saying that and using that as an excuse. Oh, this is like an episode of SmackDown. This is like an episode of Raw. But the match quality doesn't feel, in my opinion, guys, pay-per-view level quality or pay-per-view worthy. And I know Unforgiven and No Mercy and possibly Cyber Sunday are all like B-level pay-per-views and not A-level like you would say WrestleMania or Survivor Series, SummerSlam is. But, that's just the way I feel about that in general. So, in 13th place, guys, Backlash 2006, and you guys are thinking to yourself now, where the fuck is that ECW one? Why is it not as low as what you would expect it to be? And why has he put it above this as well? Well, Raw presents Backlash 2006. I have reasons that I just didn't think too much of this one, to be honest, because this is from April. Sorry, guys, I should have said that. Yeah, I think stupid stuff like Shawn Michaels and God versus Mr. McMahon and Shane McMahon. I mean, what kind of a match is that? I mean, why would you book that on a pay-per-view as well? And then God even gets his own entrance, which is quite interesting, but it was just an absolutely stupid idea, in my opinion. That's probably what really, pissed me off about this one, to put it further down the list. But looking at some of the other matches on the card as well, we had Carlito against Chris Masters, Ric Flair versus Umaga. All your standard Raw episode bullshit matches. Just, again, my opinion. That's how it felt. The main event, though, don't get me wrong, was pretty good. That's why I bumped it up a little bit in the rankings here. But other than that, oh yeah, and that weird Trish Stratus and Mickie James feud with the Stalker. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that too much, but yeah, a certain putting your fingers together and sticking your tongue through kind of sign that she did on one of the episodes of Raw. That was pretty cool, but we're not going to go into that too much. But yeah, it's a weird Stalker storyline, that one. So yeah, so 16, 15, 14, 13. In 12th place, sorry guys, I was losing count then, I've decided to go with the Great American Bash 2006. This one, again, it has a couple of good matches on. So we had the United States Championship match, Finlay against Regal, which I really enjoyed. Batista, Mr. Kennedy, again, that was a likable match. I didn't like the Punjabi Prison match, false advertising. It was supposed to be the Great Khali instead of the Big Show against The Undertaker. I think that's another reason I got a bit pissed off with this one. Rey Mysterio versus Booker T. Rey Mysterio's title run, should I say, didn't last as long as I wanted it to or hoped it would. He just seemed to have it a mere amount of months and then it was just gone. He deserved a lengthy run, to be honest, especially having to endure that. Well, over an hour he lasted in the Rumble, I think it was. But we'll get to the Rumble shortly. But yeah, we had the Fatal 4-Way Bra and Panties match as well with Ashley, Jillian, Crystal and Michelle McCool. Tag Team Championship match between the Pitbulls and Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Again, SmackDown episode level, not pay-per-view quality matches. That's how they felt. I'm ever so sorry I keep saying that. And then you're thinking, what's he gonna put in the rankings next? When's this stupid ECW one that you all can't stand gonna get ranked? There you go. Answers your questions, guys. So is it 11th place now? So 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, yeah. 11th place, ECW December to Dismember, Extreme Elimination Chamber. After I keep revisiting it and talking about it to other people, it's started to grow on me. You might think I'm mentally ill. A lot of people actually do. But seriously though, guys, it's actually grown on me. I appreciate the Elimination Chamber more now, watching it more and more than I did when I first watched this pay-per-view. The Eminem versus Hardy's match as well is pretty good. The rest of the undercard is just like Sunday Night Heat kind of matches. They are terrible, I must admit. But the reason I put this one up a bit higher than those other ones is because, like I said, I appreciate these two matches that are on the back quite a lot more now than I did, say a few years back. And going back to it again, recently I've watched that Elimination Chamber match after doing the 2003 rankings, watching that SummerSlam one back, that Elimination Chamber from that. And then I wanted to be sure in my mind that I think that is a better Elimination Chamber than SummerSlam 2003, and I stand by what I say because it is absolute 10 times better. And a lot of you are going to probably slate me for saying that now, but like I said, it's just my opinion, and that's just how I felt about that. And it's not high up on the list like number one. That would have been just stupid, but this is how I feel about it. 11th place for it. It's not even made the top 10, so we're quite lucky. It stayed out of the top 10. Speaking of the top 10, here we go into it now with 10th place, New Year's Revolution. So this was the second of 3 New Year's Revolution pay-per-views. This was the first pay-per-view of 2006 for WWE. And based around the Elimination Chamber match. Again, we're talking about another Elimination Chamber. Yeah, this one was a better chamber match than the ECW one and that stupid SummerSlam 2003 one. Again, just my opinion, guys. But I'm not sure. We're ready now, guys. Spoiler alert! So the outcome of that, the aftermath of that, with the Edge cashing in his Money in the Bank, it's all good. It's all good storytelling, if you see what I'm saying. So that's what kind of got me to put this one above December to Dismember. I know, guys, I was actually considering putting it above that, putting December to Dismember in the top 10. That would have been disastrous maybe, but no, I don't think so. This is just, like I said, just my thoughts and opinions on it all. 9th place, Survivor Series 2006. I don't have an inlay for that one, guys, unfortunately. There's the spine. You gotta love your traditional Survivor Series elimination style matches. This one has a Raw and a SmackDown one, and a Legends one as well, which was pretty cool. We had King Booker against Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. We had Chris Benoit versus Chavo Guerrero for the US Championship. Lita against Mickie James for the women's title, and a first blood match between Undertaker and Mr. Kennedy, which was a very enjoyable pay-per-view. Now they're starting to get a bit more interesting now with the matches they've put on there. There's more quality and quantity rather than just one or two matches that are worth mentioning and the rest feel like an episode of SmackDown or Raw or Sunday Night Heat or whatever. I'm not going to keep going in that conversation. So next in the rankings, as you can see, guys, where are we now? Is this 8th place? Yes, 8th place. So we have Judgment Day 2006. Which we have Rey Mysterio against JBL for the world title. Undertaker versus the Great Khali. The Great Khali with some would say a shock win, but as I've said about him before coming in, making quite an impact, pretty much destroying Undertaker here for the win. Pretty cool stuff. King of the Ring final between Bobby Lashley and Booker T was quite a standout for the pay-per-view as well, because it was a tournament final. It's a shame we didn't have a King of the Ring pay-per-view this year, instead of probably, I know what you're going to say, guys, instead of December to Dismember, so stop picking on that one. Let's pick on something else like No Mercy. They should have scrapped that and put King of the Ring there instead, or maybe Cyber Sunday. Just my opinion though, guys, at this time. Chris Benoit against Finlay, good stuff. Kurt Angle and Mark Henry continuing on their kind of weird feud. I guess they, I'm trying to remember now, I think at the beginning of the year they were in a feud together for 2006. Mine's gone a bit blank on that one now, but yeah, all in all, I didn't mind this pay-per-view in at 8th place. Coming in at number 7, we got the Vengeance 2006 with the DX spray paint on. I like the cover artwork for this. It's very cool. It did sell the DVD pretty well. And they also made it a 2-disc set, I do believe, with loads of DX extras. Beg your pardon, guys. And with the cover artwork alone, it's worth just bumping it up the rankings a bit, I'm sure. But a 5-on-2 match, DX against Spirit Squad. I mean, who wouldn't want to see that on pay-per-view? Great fun. One thing I didn't like was Kane versus Imposter Kane. That was something that we didn't need to happen. It was stupid, and the outcome, the aftermath or whatever, was ridiculous. It's very pointless, and it kind of ruined Kane even more as a character. That's just my opinion on that, guys, how I felt. Got ECW's Rob Van Dam versus Edge for the WWE Championship. Ric Flair versus Mick Foley in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which I didn't actually mind. I don't often praise Ric Flair enough. And that one was actually very watchable. Umaga versus Eugene. Poor Eugene, always getting a lot of shit in later years in WWE. He started off really well, beating top stars, and then he just got made a joke out of. Sorry, guys. Shelton Benjamin versus Carlito versus Johnny Nitro for the Intercontinental Championship. It was a good match. And Cena versus Sabu in an Extreme Lumberjack match. In at 6th place now, guys. I think it's 6th, but I apologise if it's not. Yep, 6th. It's because there's so fucking many for this year. Right, yeah, so Royal Rumble in 6th place. Definitely would put it in my top 10 favourite Royal Rumbles of all time. The Rumble match itself, the 30-man Rumble, was enjoyable. The right wrestler won, I think. Something that did get me back then was I was used to the Royal Rumble being the main event with the 30 man over the top rope battle royal being last on the pay-per-view. But in this case, when I was watching it for the first time, I thought to myself, why haven't they got that on as the main event, and why have they got Kurt Angle versus Mark Henry for the World Heavyweight Championship as the main event? But then obviously, with all that weird shit that goes on with The Undertaker and the ring collapsing and everything during the Angle Mark Henry match, it makes sense why that was on last. But all in all, that was exciting to watch as well. The Kurt Angle Henry match was good. Edge versus Cena for the WWE Championship was okay. JBL against the Boogeyman. I liked the Boogeyman. He was a good character. He was beating top stars on pay-per-views, which was good and quite shocking, to be honest, especially when they brought him in his age and everything else. But he was getting over very well with fans, I thought. Ashley against Mickie James with special guest referee Trish Stratus. Yeah, I was very happy with that one. Yeah, 6th place, that one, guys. Coming in at number 5, SummerSlam 2006 from August. This one has quite a good selection of matches as well. So we had the Edge versus Cena WWE Championship match. The Edge versus Cena rivalry throughout 2006, I was going to actually say, it got to the stage where it was pretty much not getting annoying, but it was, did we really need to see it booked that many times on pay-per-view? Similar to me criticizing about Triple H against Goldberg from 2003. It kind of reminds me of that a little, but we did actually get some enjoyable matches from Edge and John Cena, unlike the Goldberg and Triple H stuff. But again, my thoughts on that, my opinions on that. Kurt Angle, King Booker versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. We had Big Show against Sabu for the ECW Championship. DX versus the McMahons. Legend versus Legend Killer, Hulk Hogan versus Randy Orton. Ric Flair versus Mick Foley in an I Quit match, and Rey Mysterio against Chavo Guerrero, which made a very good SummerSlam, in my opinion. In at 4th place now, and you're probably wondering why this one's so high up for a B-level kind of pay-per-view, Armageddon. Armageddon I really did enjoy as a pay-per-view, and I still do to this day. It's good to go back and revisit it. Got Boogeyman against The Miz. A good, what I would say, a very good Cruiserweight Championship match between Gregory Helms and Jimmy Wang Yang. US Championship match between Benoit and Chavo Guerrero. The horrific injury that happens during the WWE Tag Team Championship 4-way ladder match to Eminem member Joey Mercury, when he gets the ladder smash him in the face and he shatters his nose and, oh man, his eyes and everything, and the blood coming out. It's nasty. Horrific injury, that. Very memorable for that one particular injury, in my opinion. If you've not seen it, guys, go back and watch it, but I don't recommend it if you're squeamish or whatever. I'm a bit sadistic sometimes, recommending you go check out sick shit like that, but, check it out if you haven't. So yeah, the participants in that match were Paul London and Brian Kendrick. We had William Regal and Dave Taylor as a team. I actually forgot they were in the match, only because of what happens to Joey Mercury. I remember Eminem and the Hardys being involved in the match, but the other two teams are just like, until I read back the matches again, oh, they were in the match as well. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. All makes sense now. Undertaker versus Mr. Kennedy again. I liked the way Mr. Kennedy was being pushed. Last Ride match as well. That one was pretty cool. The Inferno match, Kane versus MVP. I did enjoy that. And the World Heavyweight Champion Batista and WWE Champion John Cena took on King Booker and Finlay in. I will say that should have stayed as like a main event match of SmackDown, to be honest. They should have bumped up either the Last Ride match or the Inferno match to the main event. The World Championship should have been on the line in the main event. But, that's my opinion. So we got 3rd place now, guys. Still keeping track of the numbers. So I've decided to go with No Way Out for this. the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship between Kurt Angle and Undertaker is one of my favourite matches from 2006. That's why I've got this one so high up in the rankings. But a lot of the other matches on the undercard are average. Not a lot of other ones stand out. But Benoit and Booker T for the US Championship was good. Lashley and JBL could have been better. Lashley was still trying to find his feet, and you know what I mean. In the WWE at this time, settling in and everything else, he just seemed he needed more work on his in-ring skills. Again, that's just my thoughts on that. Matt Hardy and Tatanka versus Eminem seems a bit like a strange tag team match, but it worked, I guess. Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton for Mysterio's WrestleMania title opportunity kind of annoyed me because, you know, Rey worked over an hour to win that Rumble, only to be kind of fucked over here in this situation. So it's kind of memorable for that. But yeah, that's my third favourite from 2006. In second place, I decided to go with WrestleMania 22. And this was this had a lot of good matches on. I think another match that stood out for this pay-per-view and for probably one of my favourite matches, along with that Undertaker Kurt Angle match from No Way Out I was discussing just now, is the hardcore match between Mick Foley and Edge. I mean, they just really destroyed each other. Good stuff that was. Boogeyman against Booker T. JBL against Benoit for the US Championship. We had the Money in the Bank ladder match. World Tag Team Championship match, Big Show and Kane against Carlito and Chris Masters. Trish against Mickie James for the Women's Championship. Undertaker versus Mark Henry in a casket match. No holds barred match between Shawn Michaels and Mr. McMahon. Triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So we had Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle. And that annoyed me a little bit because I wanted it to just be Rey against Angle. We had a Playboy pillow fight with Tori Wilson and Candice Michelle. And of course the WWE Championship match, Cena against Triple H, which was actually a good one as well. And I lied to you guys because I told you I wasn't going to put an ECW at number one, but here's what's happened. It's One Night Stand though. It deserves to be number one, and it was in my opinion, the best pay-per-view of 2006 put out by WWE, even though it has the ECW logo on as well. What a pay-per-view. From start to finish, I really enjoyed that. Just as good as 2005's. And having the main event build up with John Cena going in as WWE champion and Rob Van Dam challenging him, and the crowd threatening to riot if Cena had walked out with that title. And, you know, given the reputation of ECW fans, that wouldn't have surprised me. So it was a good job Rob Van Dam, with help obviously from a certain rated R superstar, managed to win here. Rey Mysterio against Sabu for the world title was pretty good. Sabu, it's strange, he just came in for a few months and then just disappeared. I can't really remember what happened with him now, whether it was an injury or something to do with the Rob Van Dam thing. I think it might have been to do with him and Rob Van Dam actually smoking weed or some shit and getting caught. I can't remember. Mixed extreme tag match, which was a lot of fun as well. We had Tommy Dreamer, Terry Funk and Bula against Mick Foley, Edge and Lita. Kurt Angle versus Randy Orton. Balls Mahoney versus Masato Tanaka. Taz versus Jerry the King Lawler. And the FBI versus Tajiri and Super Crazy. An absolute cracker of a pay-per-view. One of my favourites, as I said, from 2006. That was definitely going to be number one. But rather that be number one than December to Dismember, right, guys? Well, that was my rankings from worst to best of WWE pay-per-views on DVD from the year 2006. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Give me a like if I deserve one today. You'll probably get an unlike and unsubscribe now. I put December to Dismember that high up in the rankings. But again, guys, this is just my list, just my opinion, and that's how I felt about it. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this, guys. Stay safe. I'll catch you again soon for the next one. Look after yourselves. Goodbye for now.